And good evening, boys and girls. This is Brad, VK2 NMZ for the Central Coast Amateur Radio Club 2-metre net. Now, this net is held every Thursday night on the VK2 RAG 2-metre repeater. 146.725, 600 offset and a 91.5 tone. For any of our shortwave listeners that may be out there tonight, you can come through and reach us via the club's email address of netmaster@ccarc.org.au. Now, for a bit of general housekeeping, we aim for 3 rounds, and we are also coming through and streaming this net tonight via the media of socials, both on the Book of Faces and the Tube of Views. So if you did want to go through, and you feel free to make a comment on any of those platforms, and we'll be able to go through and respond to it. For some of the other listeners out there at this moment, we do not have the capability of Echo Link or IRLP for the 2-metre repeater, but it is coming close. At the conclusion of the net, if my radio is working, or if I can get my little AmbiDV dongle to work, I'm happy to go through and jump into a random Brandmeister talk group, and we can have a bit of a chat afterwards. So for the time being, before I hit the 3-minute call out, the 3-minute timeout, I'll make the call out. If there is anybody there that did wish to go through and check in for tonight's net, please go ahead now.
VK2 FDWY. Foxtrot Mike.
And acknowledging VK2 FDWY. And we have another station there. Was that VK2 Foxtrot Mike? I didn't quite catch the end of it.
Yes, VK2 Echo Foxtrot Mike. VK2 Alpha Sierra Sierra. VK2 MJ. VK2 Kilo Foxtrot Uniform.
And acknowledging VK2 EFM, a VK2 Alpha Sierra Sierra, a VK2 MG, and VK2 KFU. If there were any other players out there tonight, please go ahead.
VK2 RAG, Somersby.
Alrighty, it doesn't look like there is anyone for the moment, so let's go through and kick this off. So we'll go off and start up the top of the list here, and we'll kick this off with VK2FDWY. Mate, the floor is yours. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, I missed your call, so VK2FDWY, I missed yours. Not a lot this week. Someone gave me a HP printer scanner, the whole work type thing, 3-in-1, and had no ink cartridges for it. So there's a crowd down Regis Park where I get a lot of inks and containers. So I got those, fired it up, and it's missing drivers, isn't it? So I just got in touch with the company and did a download, and it shot back that there was some problems that wasn't downloading. Did a self-check, come through, found the problem, still couldn't download. So I think the thing will either become a printer scanner and a USB type data transfer, or unless I can find the CD driver disc, that was that I didn't get hold of. But that was what's missing. So apart from that, yeah, it's a good condition, good yet. It does well when as far as photocopying. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Apart from that, nothing else is exciting has happened. That's the VK2FDWY.
VK2FDWY, VK2 NMZ. That's odd with regards to drivers. You would think that from the manufacturer's website that they would go through and have the drivers available for you to go off and download freely. That's very odd. Hopefully you'll be able to go through and hunt those drivers down, and you'll have a free printer working. All good there, Dave. Let's kick on down the list here. We go move over there to Alan, VK2 EFM. This is VK2 NMZ.
Yeah, VK2 NMZ, VK2 EFM. Very good evening to all on the net. And actually made it on time tonight rather than 20 minutes late. And about the only adventure I've got here is getting a new toy going, a lightning detector receiver, I think similar to the one that Peter HQ's got. Anyway, that's all good fun. VK2 NMZ, VK2 EFM.
VK2 EFM, VK2 NMZ. Interesting. New toys are always a good thing to play around with. Hopefully you're able to go off, get it running and get it working, and it'll be happy days after that. I haven't really got any new toys. What have I got? I've got a side canopy for my car, but doesn't fit. Oh dear. Oh, good, mate. We'll go off and we'll head down to just for this round here. We'll head down to the Prez. VK2 Alpha Sierra Sierra. VK2 November Mike Zulu. Mate, go for it.
VK2 November Mike Zulu, VK2 Alpha Sierra Sierra. Good afternoon, Brad, and all out there on the net tonight, and all our listeners. I didn't really hear who was on because I've been busy on the phone sharing our sharing our net tonight all over Facebook. So it's a nice picture of your radio there. It's looking lovely. What was I going to say? I've lost my plot, which isn't hard to do when you're me. I lose my plot all the time. Haven't been up to much this week. Haven't really done anything. Although I have to get my rear in the gear and start doing some earthing on the four-wheel drive. I've got a bit of a noise coming through on UHF and VHF, so I've got to have a look at that and see if we can't quieten the signal a bit somehow. I'll pass it back to you there, Brad. VK2 NMZ, VK2 Alpha Sierra Sierra.
VK2 Alpha Sierra Sierra, VK2 NMZ. Yay, earthing. One of those joyful things that I need to go through and do on mine as well. But I'll go through, I'll get to that eventually. Oh, dearie me. Alrighty, let's head over there to Alan, VK2 MG, VK2 NMZ.
VK2 NMZ and the Central Coast Radio Club Net, VK2 MG. Not an awful lot from me. I've been busy working, which is a nice change. Well, the banking's just a nice change. I managed to finally get and fix up the dipole. I had some problems with it, and I actually managed to heat shrink things properly, so I shouldn't have as much potential problems with it. A few more parks during the week that I spoke with. Mike, VK6MB, is actually touring through some of the Keith Roger Memorial Parks in Victoria at the moment. If anybody wants to try and get some of those 45, I'm up to about 28 of them now. And yesterday I said stuff it, got up early about 5 o'clock and headed up to Munmore. I have to activate that again and finish up about 9 o'clock. It was slow going, but I got Vanuatu in there. It was funny, both me and that gentleman were trying to call this guy in Italy. He couldn't hear us. We heard each other beautifully, so we had a nice chat. Yeah, it's been a quiet week. VK2 and MZ VK2MG.
That VK2 MG, a VK2 NMZ for the Central Coast Amateur Radio Club 2 meter net. Just a quick one is I did have someone just go through and I'll make a comment that I do have an echo. If someone could possibly, if the people out there watching the live stream, if you could possibly confirm that would be absolutely amazing. Because obviously I can't see it on my side, but all is good, mate. At least you're coming through, getting things working. I did see that post of yours about going off and activating the park. Definitely good times, and I'll eventually go through and get out there. I do have myself a solar panel now. I've grabbed a 160 watt panel. I just need to get an inverter. Not an inverter, a deep cycle battery to go through and buy. There is a shop which I believe has some on sale this weekend. They're 80 amp hour, and the shop originates from Germany. It has about 4 letters on there, but I can't quite remember the name of it. But pretty sure it starts with the start of the alphabet. Anyways. Oh dear. Okay, let's move it down there to Dave. VK2 KFU, VK2 NMZ.
VK2 in the group to VK2 KFU. Right, for the first round, my Achilles tendon is recovering really well. I am no longer hobbling around. I am just getting around. And my NBN access ought to be restored tomorrow, Friday, by 5 p.m. at the latest. This will affect club news. I've been out of NBN for the past 2 weeks, in case club members haven't noticed. More on that or later on my second round. VK to NMZ, VK to KFU.
VK2 KFU, VK2 NMZ for the Central Coast Radio Club 2 meter net. Wow, having a net out for 2 weeks, that's quite a long time. I'm hoping it's I'm hoping that if it's coming through by 5 p.m. tomorrow, that it'll come through and all get fixed. Whether I don't know if it's whether a technician needs to come over there, but wow, that's definitely a bit of a shame, and I do hope that it will go through and get restored again soon. All right, so we are at the very bottom of the list. So we'll do a quick bit of housekeeping here. I have received a message which says, "Hi Brad and all on the net tonight. Sats have been good as of late. They don't seem to mind the rain. Today at 2 p.m. heard AO91 with 5 different call signs on it, a ZL3, a VK5, VK4 and 2 VK3s. That's about all. Thanks for the net, Brad. Cheers to all." Well, so that's all good there, mate. Okay, so we'll also go through and make a couple of hellos there to the people who are watching on the media of socials. We have Ken, who's VK4 Alpha Kilo Hotel from Brisbane. We have Vince, VK2 Victor November Charlie from Kooragang Island. Had a lot of fun out there on Sunday afternoons with Mike. Oh, we have our resident repeater master Don watching as well, VK2 ZCZ. There's also Nathan coming through and watching from Sydney, VK2 NAB, mate. Welcome along, thank you. What else have we got here? Then we have Matt here who's watching the stream as well. It is always appreciated of people coming in and being able to watch and check in on the net, and truly trying to make this quite interactive. All right, so we'll go through, I guess, before we go back up to the top of the list, I'll do another call out to see if there is anybody who did wish to go through and join in tonight, and then I'll give a little bit of a spiel about my news. This is Brad, VK2 NMZ for the Central Coast Amateur Radio Club 2 metre Thursday night net. If there are any check-ins, please go ahead.
VK2RAG, Summersby.
K2 Alpha Oscar Romeo.
And acknowledging VK2 Alpha Oscar Romeo. Were there anyone else out there?
VK2 HPZ.
VK2 HDZ acknowledged. Any other players? Please go ahead. Alrighty, so we haven't had any replies back, so that's cool. We'll go through and we'll keep this moving on. So a bit of my news here is hello there, Jesse. Whiskey Hotel 6 Alpha Victor. We had a chat. You're from Hawaii. Thank you so much for taking the time out to come along and have a chat on that. I do hope once we do get the IRLP and Echolink services working on this, that you'll be able to come through and join in. It'll be something incredible. Okay, a bit of news from me. So last weekend, myself and a few other members of the club, we made our way down to Mountain Lagoon for a Whiten event. It was the Mountain Lagoon Endurance Ride, where we had approximately 180 entries for a horse ride, and it spanned from 5 kilometre to 80 kilometre endurance rides. The 80 Ks was done in 2 legs. We had stations set up at multiple checkpoints for Whiten. All in all, it was a very good weekend. No major incidents did go through and happened. There were no flat tires, no bogged 4-wheel drives in ditches. Overall, a very good weekend, and I wanted to say a thank you to the people that were in a position to be able to come along and help out for the weekend. Alrighty, let's kick this down to, before we go back up to the top of the list, we'll go there to Bob, a VK2 AOR, a VK2 NMZ.
K2 NMZ, VK2 AOR. Been busy doing some research into club's activities in the past with respect to our tower. And this afternoon I had the contact with a young fellow from the Woi Woi area, Mike, VK2, let me think, I can't think what it is now, but it started with F, but he's not he's a limited license, so he's only a 3-letter call. Anyway, if you're listening at all, Mike, you're quite welcome to drop in. He said he didn't know too many people on the coast at this stage, but looking forward to catching up with him, and maybe he'll come to the club on Saturday, so we'll see what happens. I just can't remember his call sign, but he did call in on the net some time ago, and so if you hear him about, he's fairly softly spoken, well, for my ears he is, and but he managed to communicate quite okay. That's about it, I think, Brad. I'll probably think of something else to say as we get around. Haven't done much with satellites lately, and need to get back into that mode after a bit of family stuff that was happening. So thanks for running the net, Brad, and I'll talk to you on the next round.
VK2 AOR, VK2 NMZ. That's all good there, Bob. Just a quick one just for you. Either somebody was doubling over you, or the heterodyne of your radio was, it sounded like an effects pedal on an electric guitar and was wah-wahing through half of your talk. But that's all good. Mike, VK2F something something something. If you are listening, by all means that you can come through. Feel free to check in. And go through and say hello, or basically, if the many of us will be up at the club from about 10:30 in the morning, and really that goes for anyone else out there that is coming through and were curious about the hobby, or did just want to drop into the clubhouse. Yeah, we are whether it opens up at around 10:30, about 10:30 ish on a Saturday morning. You're more than welcome to go through and drop in and say hello. Okay, so what have we got here? Ken has come through and said, I've yet to see a horse with a flat tyre. We have Mal, VK2, Oscar Tango Alpha, who's listening. And Jesse, WH6AV, just got home from work here, off to bed, work in 6 hours, 73 in Aloha. Well, aloha to you too, Jesse, and thank you again for dropping by. All right, let's head down there to Ian, VK2HDZ, VK2 NMZ.
VK2 NMZ from Group, VK2 HTC returning. Good evening all. Not a lot to say. HF fans haven't been kind to me the last week, so it's been very quiet. And other than that, not been doing much radio stuff at all.
Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, I definitely agree. As the side of HF land is, I did go through and the only thing I've really had in HFville was a contact with New Zealand on FT8 on 20 meters. That was pretty much my luck. Other than that, I haven't been able to hear anything because the noise at my house is just absolutely incredible. Oh dear. Oh, we do have one thing as well. We have Bob, VK2, Foxtrot Kilo Oscar Mike from New Lambton, Combi Bob. G'day there. I suppose I could, after the net finishes, if I don't do the digital side of things, I'll jump onto RNC and properly say hello to you. Alrighty, let's move back up to the top of the list, but before I do that, I'll just do a final call out if there was anyone else that did wish to go through and check in. This is Brad, VK2 NMZ for the Central Coast Amateur Radio Club 2 meter net. Please go ahead. Alrighty, I take that as a solid no. Okie dokie, let's head up to the top of the list today. VK2 FDWY and VK2 NMZ.
Yeah, VK2 MNZ, VK2 FDWY. To clarify that earlier comment, I was getting a download and halfway through it had come up and said that it's unsuccessful due to an error code, so click on that link. That link was activated, but then it was coming through the search and it couldn't find any problems or any other thing, and it just couldn't actually do the download. So the whole issue now is finding if I can get a CD program from that particular company. But as I said yesterday, I was in Sydney, and I left here about 4 o'clock in the morning up to Morris, did some work there all the way back down to Sydney, and it was about 9:30 when I got to Stratfield, and that had on the train board Express, Epping and then Hornsby. I was saying umming and ahhing and I decided to get on the train, which was a good thing. Got to Hornsby, and it was buses from there to Gosford for some unknown reason. And didn't they have a conglomerate sort of a party show? People got on the bus. This bus does not go to Woy Woy, but I want to go to Woy Woy. You got to get another bus. On and off and on and off. Our darling bus driver was an absolute cranky. It was like, listen, mate, we've got no one else to do the job. Can you come along and do some trip and run this in now? And fill it in for us, and which he did, but he was very aggro and frustrated to a great extent. But I got home about, 1 o'clock this morning, yeah, and then then up again at 8:30 I think it was this morning. I got up. Busy day. Didn't do much on the computers apart from that present thing. But that's about it. That's just the excitement for the last 24 hours. VK2 NNZ, VK2 SDWY.
VK2RAG, Somerset.
VK2 FDWY, VK2 NMZ, and the word from our sponsor who just came in before for the 10-minute repeater ident. All is swell. I've after coming up to 2 months, no, nearly 3 months of daily driving to Pennant Hills and Macquarie Park, I finally managed to go through and start getting the train again to work. And admittedly, it takes a bit longer, but it's so much less stressful. I can sit there for an hour and a bit, an hour and a half, and just switch off. But I'm lucky enough that I'm not needing to deal with rail buses at the moment, because I'm fairly sure that would go through and drive me absolutely bonkers. But you went through, you made it back, and all is good in the world. Okie dokies, let's head over there to Alan, VK2 EFM, VK2 NMZ.
Hey, thanks there, Brad. VK2 NMZ, VK2 EFM returning. And yes, one amusing thing when I have this first turn on the lightning detector is that it clicks every time it records the pulse. It's clicking regularly in sync with the electric fence. It wasn't all that far away, so it initially started as a very high-priced electric fence detector, but it turned out the electric fence off and that problem went away. Radio-wise, about all I can record is I left a receiver running on 60 metres whisper. Heard one station from Germany, one station from the UK, both long and short paths, so radio-wise that's about all I can record. So back to you there, Brad, VK2 NMZ, and the group VK2 EFM.
VK2 EFM, VK2 NMZ. I've seen the lightning detectors. It definitely seems like a bit of it could be an interesting toy to play with, but I think for myself, I have enough toys here and unfinished projects, and my garage is already trashed as it is, which is where I'm transmitting from at the moment. I don't even have any sort of clear bench spaces, cables and antennas. I got a server rack which is pulled apart. Yeah, I can't do any more projects. Oh dear. So that's all good there, mate. I'll just make a quick comment there for Combi Bob on the Tube of Views. It was so I was saying after this I'll jump onto VK2 RNC, which is the Newcastle's repeater, to drop in and go through and say hello to you. Anywho's, all right, let's head back there to Miles, VK2 Alpha Sierra Sierra, VK2 NMZ.
VK2 NMZ, VK2 Alpha Sierra Sierra. Not a great deal to really say tonight. I'm just sort of doing a couple of things here in the shed while I've got a couple of minutes, and that's about it. If Rick's listening at the moment, g'day Rick. He's an old mate of mine. I shared this on my own page, and I've seen a few people I know drift in and out of the room, or the Facebook page that's got up. Anyway, I'll be listening. If I don't come back on the next round, it's because I've probably gone to bed because I'm pretty tired. These big work's getting to me now. VK2 NMZ, VK2 Alpha Sierra Sierra, and 73 is 1 and all if I'm not here for the next round.
VK2 Alpha Sierra Sierra, VK2 NMZ. Hey, that is all good there, Miles. Thank you so much for coming along. And it's definitely appreciated for you being there, and definitely you got to go through and get up early in the morning and you can hail to the truck driver. Oh, all good, champ. Okay, well, let's go through and we'll head on there down the list. And we'll go to Alan, VK2 MG, VK2 NMZ.
Quickly, Brad, do I have audio at the moment? I've just changed microphones.
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, I've changed over to using the headset with the electric noodle adapter I made up because I thought it might be a little bit easier. I can move around. I've still got to hold the microphone in my hand because that's where press to talk is, and I really don't want to go rocks up here. Those things I wanted to mention about that park that I went to, that is now the 5th activation that I've got there. It's not on consecutive days, so that's another one added to the list of boomerang parks. If I get to 5, there's another reward in there. So Brisbane Water's probably going to be next. It's at 3. And mention of the solar panels made me think, Lynn went and bought me one of those 7.5 watt trickle charger panels, and I keep meaning to bring that with me and just set it doing something to give me a little bit more battery. It won't give me a full charge real quickly, but it's got to help. The other thing I just noticed come through on the DX spots, VK9XX is on 20 metres at the moment. I just heard him on the edge, but there's no way I was going to get him. And also we've got VI9NI is out on Norfolk Island for the next week or so, so it's worth having a listen out for, and maybe checking some of the DX spotting sites. VK2 NMZ, VK2 MG.
VK2 G and VK2 NMZ. If you're able to get out there and you can get another successful activation in there, absolutely go for it. And hopefully the weather will come through and be kind to you, and you won't go through and get rained on. Oh, dearie me. Such an insane wild week. Alrighty, mate. Let's head down there to Dave, a VK2 KFU, a VK2 NMZ.
VK2. Your Pacific part. Okay, where are we? My usual spiel. A brief rundown of the broadcast coming up. Apologies for callbacks last Sunday. I will personally take steps to make sure that never happens again. I had an extended NBN outage, so last week's news arrived via SMS. I'll just let the repeater reset. Beep, thank you. And do not forget the GPS rollover on Saturday and or Sunday. This is not the same as a leap second adjustment. After Saturday's meeting, I will have a bag of things to bring along free of charge. And because of Easter, there is no club lecture on the 20th of April. Just let the repeater reset. Yep, and there's the beep. And the next lecture will be the 18th of May on a subject to be advised. Blah, 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 blah. And I will follow this on the third round with a request for any club member with a real computer, i.e. who can accept a USB stick and has access to email. VK2NMZ, speaking to KFU.
VK2 KFU, VK2 NMZ. Well, part of me, I'm kind of partially curious to see or to understand like what caused an outage for 2 weeks, for for that long. That is something absolutely incredible. This weekend, I believe, the rollover is on. Yeah, it's set to happen on the Saturday. I do plan on being up there at the club on the Saturday. Happy to bring my laptop along if you need access to a real computer with USB drive capability, or if you need a taxi lift up there. Just shoot me a message. Alrighties, so let's head on down there to the list. We go to Bob, VK2 AOR, VK2 NMZ.
VK2RAG, Somerset.
K2 FMUS.
Acknowledging there, Mark, VK2 FMUS, mate, welcome along. I've got you on the list. Bob, please go ahead. VK2 AOR, VK2 NMZ. Okay, we'll just go through and check that. VK2 AOR, VK2 NMZ. Okay, I'm just trying this on reverse at the moment because I am close to Bob. VK2 AOR, VK2 NMZ, if you just wanted to go through and check your radio. VK2 AOR, VK2 NMZ, Bob, check your radio, mate. Hijacking my net. Alright, so for some of the streamers out there and who are watching that, basically, so there was an issue there with Bob's radio. Oh, we've started again. He's not coming through. We're not getting any audio in right now. So unfortunately, with these sorts of instances, we need to wait for the 3-minute timeout. All right, I'm going to take this opportunity to jump in there, Bob. You had absolutely zero audio coming through. Zero audio.
Okay, I turned my mic gain down thinking that might have caused the
we can come through and we can go through and hear you perfectly fine now.
Hey, that sounds good. Well, what I just said in that vacant space was that I think there's basically a contest coming up this weekend, and riders going to go to Mount Elliot and operate there. So I suspect, depending on whether it rains or not, that's VK2 ARJ. The rest of it was probably just waffle. So I was just asking if there's any other events that are coming up for the club that we need to publicise. VK2NMZ, VK2AOR.
VK2 AOR, VK2 NMZ. For other events that need to be publicised, I'd need to go through and have a look. I know that as I wouldn't mind going through and getting into a bit of a having a look at the few more of the contest side of things on the club, as there are some other radio clubs out there that do like single and multi operator, and I definitely think that that's something there that we should, it might be good for us to be able to go through and take it and look into and take advantage of. As far as a field trip to Mount Elliot this weekend, that's the one place I've never actually been to, is I've never gone through and been up to the Mount Elliot site. So I think that may be something on the list to go through and look at. Alrighty, we'll head there. Was there anything else there that you wanted to jump in there, Bob, before I move down the list?
Roger, Brad. VK2MNZ, NMZ, VK2AOR. Yeah, I think we're getting some stuff together for fox hunts. So if anyone's got any ideas or gear that they'd like to bring along, maybe an opportune time to see what people have got, and those that haven't might like to find out a bit more. So I think Miles is keen to get some fox hunts going, so we'll probably start off with pedestrian fox hunts and simple gear to start with. So, but I'm sure that'll be announced properly when we get that organised. VK2NMZ, VK2AOR.
VK2 AOR, VK2 NMZ. Fantastic, mate. Because I know that's something there that we've all been having a bit of a chat about for a while. So it's fantastic to come through and see that it's going there and it's coming up and not coming up off the ground. I'm very much going through and looking forward to it. Alrighty, let's head down there to Ian. VK2 HDZ, VK2 NMZ.
VK2NMZ in the group, VK2 HDZ returning. Not a lot to say, just making the numbers up, mate, so I'll go to QRT and synthesise.
Not a problemo at all there, Ian. Mate, thank you so much for coming along and being able to and coming in and taking the time to check in. It is definitely greatly appreciated. Alrighty, I've come through, I've marked you there, so we've got that there. Alrighty, let's go there to Mark, VK2 FMUS, VK2 NMZ. Mate, the floor is yours. VK2 FMUS, VK2 NMZ.
VK2AOR jumping in.
VK2FOMG also jumping in.
Yeah, Bob, mate, go for it.
Roger, Mark often works at night, so when he calls in, we're probably best to call him in straight away because he's driving around the Newcastle area and doesn't always get the chance to respond depending on his position. And good evening, Jay, VK2FOMG. Okay, back to you, Brad, VK2NMZ, VK2AOR.
VK2 AOR, VK2 NMZ. Mate, acknowledge that. Thank you for that. That's the one thing I didn't go through and know, so we'll keep that in mind there for next time. I'll just do another call out there to Mark, just in case he is in an opportunity to drop in. VK2 FMUS, VK2 NMZ.
VK2RAG, Somersby.
Alrighty, I'm going to take that as a good solid no. All good there. Okay, Mark. Well, thank you so much, and just drop in, and we'll, if you are still listening, and we'll come straight back to you. Okay, Jay, VK2 FOMG, or FMOG. I'm sorry, I think I wrote that down wrong. Mate, Jay, VK2 NMZ, go for it.
VK2 NMZ, VK2 Foxtrot, Oscar, my golf. Not quite sure how you got my station wrong there. Anyway, just a quick check, mate. Do a signal report first. I'm literally on a whip sitting on top of my fridge here as I'm unpacking the house. Back to you.
Mate, the signal is absolutely clear and beautiful. So you got, yeah, so the propagation to the fridge from the fridge is good. Repeat, is good.
Nothing like fridge propagation. That's always what we want. We use the top of the fridge as a ground plane, and we get off the ground plane. That's how it works. VK2NMZ, VK2FOG. Good evening to everybody, and yes, welcome back to me. Been off the air for a couple of weeks, but finally moved myself and into a new grid square. Getting myself unpacked and settled into the new place before I move to my final location at the end of the year. So, good evening to Bob, good evening to Brad, obviously. I think I heard Ian, Mark, I dare say Al's on as well, our soda king, and everybody else. Good to hear. Geez, I don't even know where to start, mate. I might unkey for a sec. I don't think I'm going to unpack the shack in this QR, QCH. I've got my Q codes already. I don't think I'll be unpacking the shack, so I'll be living on the 817 for a while. However, I am close to the ocean, so it means that the handful of watts that I do have available are going to be used quite a lot. So I'm up here now in Budgie Boy temporarily. I don't know what the grid square is, but I'll be finding that out soon enough. But basically, I'm going to set up an end-fed wire with a 9-to-1 under on it. Going to hang it probably about 5 metres up in the air off one of the existing poles I've got ready for the new house, just as a temporary setup. And we'll be running QRP for about the next 6 months or so. Brad, back to you.
VK2 FOMG, VK2 NMZ. All good there. I'll try that again. You'll be coming through, getting set up, and yeah, if you're able to go through and get that end fed high enough, or given that I believe your place backs onto the water, or if not, it's very, very close, you should be able to go through and get a weight onto the end of that end-fed wire and throw it up into one of the trees, and hopefully that'll enable you to be able to go through and use a bit of HF while you're there. Happy days. At least it'll the 817s is really like still pretty decent. I know that's what Al is coming through and talking off right now as well. So mate, good to come through and see that you are along, and that you were able to go through and make it in. But yeah, your signal's definitely going through and getting out quite well. Alrighty, so we are at the very bottom of the list. We'll just do a final call out before moving up to the top. This is Brad, VK2 NMZ for the Central Coast Amateur Radio Club 2 Meter Net. If there were any people out there that did wish to go through and join in, or are mic shy or didn't want to talk to me, well, you don't have to, but it'd be nice. Please go ahead. All is quiet in the land. Okie dokies. Let's head. We'll make our way back up to the top of the list. I believe we are at round 3 now, so this is the last and final call. So VK2 FDWY, VK2 NMZ. Dave, go ahead, mate. VK2 FDWY, VK2 NMZ. Nope. Okay. Looks like Dave's earned himself an asterisk to the side of his name. All good. Okay, let's go down there to Alan. VK2 EFM. VK2 NMZ, if you're still around. Please go ahead.
Hey, thanks there, Brad. VK2 NMZ, VK2 EFM returning. And interesting about the fox hunting. I do have a proper sniffer and a beam here, so would be interested to see how that goes. Time permitting. And I do have an original F2 290R in captivity I just used 20 years ago, so there you go. Yeah, not too much more to report here. Made a few comments here and there, interested with miles of the vehicle's noise. If you need a brain trust in miles, give us a yell. I actually do that at work. Hopefully one day get myself active and have a go at the Parks Awards. Anyway, that's about it from me. So back to you there, Brad, VK2 NMZ. Thank you for running the net. This is VK2 Echo Fox Mike.
VK2 EFM, VK2 NMZ. I'm sure, I know Miles did do a little bit of grounding on it. I think the biggest one was he's running an IC 7000 through a Codan antenna, and I think it was 40 meters, which was the most noisy. When I get to it, I need to, for my car, which is a Subaru sedan, is I do want to go through and do a bit more work on bonding the car. So far, what I've done is I've got a couple of bits of braid going from the exhaust to one of the bolts underneath the car, and I've bonded both sides of the bonnet with some braid. I think the biggest one that I want to do is ideally get the car jacked up and get some more bits of braid on the exhaust, or the multiple sections of the exhaust, and have that strapped to it, and find a bolt somewhere underneath the car that I can go off and mount it to. Because unfortunately for myself, pretty much every HF band in the car when it's running is just incredibly loud. But that's something that's fairly acceptable given the amount of electronics and ignition noise that I've got in there. But it's an eventual work in progress. It's not very high on the list to go through and be done. All good there, Alo, mate. Thank you so much for coming through and joining in. It is definitely much, much appreciated. And we will go through and we'll move down the list there to Miles, if there wasn't anything else that you wanted to add in there. VK2 EFM, VK2 NMZ. Anything else there, mate, before we move on?
No, that's about it. Yes, braid, big lumps of ferrite. What else is there? A few other tricks. Anyway, I can relate to all your comments there. You're going in the right direction. Anyway, 73 to all. I'll catch you later.
7-3, mate, and thank you once again for coming through. Alrighty, let's head down to Miles, VK2 Alpha Sierra Sierra, VK2 NMZ, if you're still around.
VK2 NMZ, VK2 Alpha Sierra Sierra. Actually, it's not 40 metres. I got that sorted out. That was a simple fix. I ran a piece of wire from the back of my radio and burst it. Now I can use everything. Now the noises on VHF and UHF. So I turned the radio on today just to see before I started the car up, just to have a look. And I had absolutely no noise. But as soon as I started the car up, oh boy, excuse me, I had about 20 dB of noise. And I think this has been the problem I've been having with it for a while, not being able to hear stations when I'm mobile. It's just completely wiping out the repeater. It's happening on both radios, so it's, yeah. I've got to have a look at it and see if I can't work out what the problem is, whether it's noise coming from the engine bay up the power cables or, I don't know, it could be a multitude of things, but, yeah. It's something I have to have a look at. I know that my antenna that is on my dual bander, the little Icom ID 800, I know I've got to replace the mount it's on and run an earth from it down onto the chassis. But there's other things I need to do there as well. I've got to do a bit of bonding and so on and so forth. I don't know if these batteries would be any good for what you were talking about earlier, Brad. But if you speak to Tom, he can get his hands on 100 or 110 amp hour ones. Just have a talk to Tom when you see him, and he may be able to help you out with something. Although they are not light, I can tell you they're not light. I've got a couple of them myself. What else is there? I think that's pretty much it. I was just looking at the screen. Hans Kranz, SM0AHH is listening. I'm pretty sure SM is Germany. But I have been known to be wrong on many, many, many occasions. Oh dear. Alright guys, yeah, that's about it really. I guess everyone will be going up to Mount Elliot after the meeting on Saturday, by the sounds of it. And we'll see how long the meeting goes. See if I can't extend it out for a full 5 hours tomorrow. That's Saturday, I should say. VK2 NMZ, VK2 Alpha Sierra Sierra.
VK2RAG, Summersby.
VK2 Alpha Sierra Sierra, VK2 NMZ. I do remember Tom talking about that. Well, the average weight of your 110 amp hour batteries are usually around the 30 kilo mark anyway. But no, I will go through and hit him up, have a chat. It's something that wouldn't be used all the time, and it would probably ideally need to fit behind the passenger seat of my car. But that can go through and be a chat for another time. Alrighty, mate. Well, thank you for coming along, and yeah, well, for the people that are coming up, there is a general business meeting happening this Saturday, kicking off at 1 p.m. Followed by the famous sausage sizzle at 12. Oh dear. Alrighty, so let's kick on down this list. We'll go to Alan, VK2MG, VK2NMZ.
Just quickly, Alan, sorry. Don't you mean the sausage sizzles before the meeting?
And it's KFC, not SKC.
Yeah, that. Such a bad thing to say. All good. Yeah, I know what I meant. Anywho's, Alan, VK2, Mike Golf, VK2NMZ.
VK2NMZ at the Central Coast Limit Radio Net, VK2MG. Yeah, Miles, SM, right generic part of the world, not quite far enough west. I worked one of these guys myself, CW, from Manmora the other week, Sweden, SM Sweden. The only other question I've got is, what's the contest that's on this weekend? I haven't seen anything.
That's a break for me, VK2AOR. Don't know, but Rod was telling me there's a contest on this weekend. I was up there with him last weekend, but got me for it wrong. Not sure. Don't know if Rod's listening. VK2 NMZ, VK2AOR.
VK2 AOR, VK2 NMZ. Having a look here, there looks to be a RITI contest for the 6th, and there's also a VK QRP HRS contest as well. I don't know much else about it. That's just one of the things I just went off and saw. I might have to. I'm just trying to open up a link that I've gone through and I've spotted on our website, just to see if there's a little bit more information that I can find. We got dates. We have one for the 7th of April. But there's also one listed for the 6th of April as well. But I have a feeling they've probably got the dates on that one wrong. But Alan, I'll send you a link of what I went through and found. It looks like it's a pretty active calendar. But that's that's all good. I'll shoot that through to you shortly. VK2 MG, VK2 and MZ.
Yeah, I've got the QRP one. That might be what they were talking about, but it's only an hour, and it's a very limited hour. It's in the evening, so I'm not sure if that'd be it. But anyway, I guess we'll find out. Good night all, 7 trees, VK2 NMZ, VK2 MG.
VK2 MG, VK2 good. Mate, all good. Thank you so much for coming along tonight, and it is always appreciated for people coming through and dropping in and this is exactly what makes the nets successful. Okay, let's head on down there to Dave, VK2 KFU, and VK2 NMZ.
VK2 NMZ, VK2. Go with the mic there. Not much more to highlights of the broadcast, which may or may not get through. What I really want is a volunteer from the club to take a USB stick from me, virus free, plug it into the computer and email it to ARNSW by 12 noon tomorrow. Just in case I don't have my NBN back by Friday afternoon. I can't say much more about NBN or Telstra, otherwise I'll be violating the amateur radio news. So again, if somebody can arrange to drop in at my TDHR tomorrow morning to pick up a USB stick and email the contents to ARNSW, that would be just peachy. If he could do NMZ, he could do KFU.
VK2FOMG, please, Brad.
Yeah, Jay, go for it.
Thanks, mate. Dave, VK2KFU, the contents on that USB stick, mate, is that just the two-page doco for the news for this weekend? Copy.
Affirmative.
Sorry, mate, that cut out halfway through. Go again, please.
Affirmative.
Yeah, roger that. How big is the file? Copy.
It will easily fit on a USB stick. It's only an RTS file, about a megabyte or so. You know what RTS is like, but I can also include a printed copy if somebody wants to read it out.
Yeah, copy that. The reason I ask is if I can send you a link to a Google Drive or something there, load the file to there. I know you're saying you're having problems with your NBN. Is there another way you can get that out, conscious that it's only a 1 megabyte file?
Negative, I have zero network access. I say again, I have zero network access until possibly Friday 5 p.m.
Yeah, copy, Dave. I might wait until the end of the net and I'll get some details off you. I might be able to swing by and pick that up on my way down to Sydney tomorrow morning. Because, yeah, obviously 1 megabytes can be quite easy to upload rather quickly and, yeah, okay. I might have a chat with you after the net, over.
Okay, no worries.
Thank you, Dave. Back to you, Brad. VK2NFZ, VK2FOMG.
VK2FOMG and VK2KFU. This is VK2NMZ. All good there. Okay, so what we'll do there, Dave, thank you very much for that, and hopefully we'll go through, we'll have a bit of a chin wag after the net is finished up. Let's head over there to Bob, VK2AOR, VK2NMZ.
VK2NMZ, VK2AOR. Thanks, Brad. Thanks for running the net, and to all the stations that called in, and to all our shortwave listeners. They're either short waves or long shortwaves, and short waves. Okay, I'll just say 73 and see you all Saturday. 73 there, Brad, and once again, thanks for running the net. 2NMZ VK2AOR. Cheers, Brad.
VK2RAG, Summersby.
VK2 AOR, VK2 NMZ. Oh, that's all good, Bob. Thank you so much for taking the time to go through and drop by. Alrighty, we're nearing the end of the list here. I've put an asterisk next to Ian. We'll just do a final call out there for Mark. VK2 FMUS, VK2 NMZ. Nope. All gone. Alrighty, Jay, lucky last. VK2 FOMG, VK2 NMZ.
VK2NMZ, VK2FLMG, down on his QRP power on his license there, so well within the limits, and I'm sure you just heard the compressor kicking in the fridge. This sounds unbelievably professional. I'll just don't key for a moment. I've got to say, I don't think I've ever transmitted off the top of a fridge before, so this is definitely a new one for me, but the choice you have to put up with when you're moving house, so oh dear. Anyway, look, I've got a couple of weeks footage I've been off, and I do apologise to all my regulars that like to listen to me. Steve and I usually have a conversation on the way back up on the freeway. I know, Brad, you and I have some regular conversations, Miles and I, Bob and I, God, the list goes on. It's, yeah, lots and lots. Let's start again. Now that I've finally found the power pack for the 817, it means I can actually charge the battery, it means I can actually run the radio, so I've got my office semi set up, so I'll finish that off over the coming week, which means I can run the boom mic and actually run some nets and some streaming, just having some back and forth with NBN at the moment, just trying to get the NBN set up so I can actually do some proper streaming, so maybe a week or two and I'll be able to stream it from home on both services, both YouTube and Facebook. Oh, so packed up the house, packed up the shack, you know, very depressing for anybody who's into radio, which I'm pretty sure we all are, and jumped in the car on the Monday. I thought, oh, it's not so bad. At least I've got the dual banner in the car, I can transmit off that. At least I'll talk to everybody on the repeater. Got to, where did I get to? Turramurra. Got to about Turramurra and the radio dropped the config. I was like, this is wonderful. I didn't even get 40 minutes 40 minutes after packing up the shack and the dual banner I was getting at least to talk to everybody dropped the config, so that was a bit of a downer for me. I'll just don't care again. So basically I've been able to listen, just jumping on frequency VFO and putting it in. Being in Chinese radio, you need to program it properly, and between packing and everything else in life, I haven't had 2 seconds to actually sit down and program it. So I've been listening into conversations, but not actually been able to sit down and program it properly so I can get onto the repeater. So but good to hear everybody, good to see the repeaters working well and everything's happening great. So I'm really happy with that. I'll be there Sunday. I believe Mark's going to be absent, so I'll be backfilling his position on Saturday. So look forward to catching everybody with everybody there on Sunday, and be good to catch up with everybody too. As I said, I'm not going to be able to unpack the shack here, the Frog 7 and a few of the other radios. So I'll be listening on QRP for a while and transmitting on QRP for a while. With the 817, so I've got the tuning here, got the Z817 from MFJ, which I've already got sitting on top of it at the moment. So I'm hoping to get some good tunability on this long wire with the Unknown on it. Should be good. I've tested it out a couple of times. Brad's familiar with the kit that I've got, so I'm sure he's aware of what I'm talking about. But being 200 metres from the ocean, I'm really hoping to get some good DX even off a handful of watts. So I've got an existing pole here that's about 5 metres tall, so I might use some PVC and just kind of chunk that into the ground temporarily and run a wire from that back to the window and see how I go. Okay, again. For dual band, I might try and use my vertical with the ground plane I was using at the old house, and then try and string that up onto the same pole and run that in to BNC connector on the front of the 817s, as I'm sure again Al's aware. So I'll just have to get a converter to convert that back from SMA, or even actually it's UHF. Yeah, it is. It's just a standard cable, so just to convert it back on that to BNC, so I can use that for dual band capabilities on the radio. I've got a 13.8, I think a couple of amps, this Dick Smith one I've got that I'm talking on now. So it means I should be able to actually use it without having to rely on the battery, which means I should get my full 5 watts. I'm looking forward to it. But I'm really looking forward to what this wire can offer me over this soil, being 200 metres from the ocean. And I might have it stringing across north-south direction. So I should be able to get into the US, even on a handful of watts on a good bit of propagation. Obviously, it's going to be more conversation for another time, concentrate on the third round. But look, really glad to be back on the airwaves. I have missed you all, and I'm sure there's been a good bunch of people that have been missing me. So I'm looking forward to, diving in. Still doing some studies, just over halfway through with the stuff now. Read the AMC information about the price hike on the advanced license, so not real happy about that. Be interesting to see how that all washes out towards the end, or whether they're going to stay with the setup they've got. Apart from that, I'm sure everybody heard me on Sunday. That was my debut broadcast there at VK2WI. It was really fun. Really enjoyed it, and I hope everybody got to hear it. Alright, I'll still be hanging around. Hand it back to you, Brad. VK2NMZ. VK2FOMG.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that mate, all good, thank you, and it was definitely a good spiel there. Okay, all right, kids. So we are at 9:18 p.m. So we've successfully managed to go through and do our 3 rounds. So I'm going to go through and make the call to shut this net off for the evening at 21:19. So thank you again to everybody that did go through and has come along and taken the time to attend the net tonight and check in. If anybody out there did have Echo Link and did wish to go through and have a bit of a chat, as our node isn't quite up yet, I'm thinking it might be a good idea to commandeer one of the other local clubs repeaters, VK2RNC, their Echo Link node number 1474. Might jump over to that for a little bit after the net has completed. Alrighty, so I'm going to close this net off. Thank you once again, and we'll see you back next Thursday. This is VK2 NMZ for the Central Coast Amateur Radio Club, returning this repeater back to general use. 730. Bye.
Oh, he closed the net, did he? Oh, I didn't hear it.